They say time heals everything, but no one talks about what happens when time loops back. It was just another Tuesday. I was at the art gallery my firm sponsored, half bored, half scanning the crowd, wine glass in hand, when I saw her. Elena, the girl I once loved like I'd never love again. The girl who disappeared 5 years ago with a goodbye that never came. She stood across the room like time had folded in on itself. Same midnight hair, now in soft waves. Same sharp, honey-colored eyes. Same effortless elegance in the way she stood, confident, detached, untouchable. My heart did that thing it wasn't supposed to do anymore. She hadn't seen me yet. Thank God. I turned, pretended to study a modern painting that looked like a crime scene. I wasn't ready. Not for the questions. Not for the apologies. Not for the memories rushing in like a storm tide. We had been in college when we first fell in love. It was messy and all-consuming. Every kiss felt like a rebellion. Every fight felt like war. And then, just like that, she was gone. A note. A silent phone. No closure. I spent months trying to forget her. Years trying to hate her. Now here she was, breathing the same air, just a few steps away, still pretending to understand abstract art. Her voice sliced through my spinning thoughts. I turned. She was closer now, smirking, eyes teasing, but with an edge of vulnerability I remembered too well. Elena, I breathed. She raised a brow. I wasn't sure if you'd remember me. Hard to forget the woman who vanished like a ghost. Ouch. That came out sharper than I intended. Her smile faltered. We stood there, the noise of the gallery fading, like the universe wanted us alone in this moment. I didn't expect to see you here, she said finally. Yeah. Well, you tend to pop up in places you're not expected. A pause. Silence thick with unsaid things. I came back for my mom, she offered. She's been sick. I nodded. I'm sorry. How is she? Better now. Stable. The small talk was suffocating. I wanted to ask 1,000 things. Why did you leave? Why didn't you call? Were you hurting too? Did you ever think about me? Instead, I said, you look different. You don't. I wasn't sure if that was good or bad. I never wanted to hurt you, she said suddenly, quiet, sincere. I met her eyes. There was something deeper now. Regret. Maturity. Maybe a part of her that had finally lived the pain I carried for years. Before I could speak, my boss interrupted. Gregory, always loud and inconvenient. Aiden, we've got a donor who wants to meet you. I glanced at Elena, reluctant. Go, she said. We'll talk, a promise, or a lie. I couldn't tell yet. Later that night, as I left the gallery, I saw her outside in the rain. No umbrella, arms crossed, looking at the street like she was trying to remember how to leave again. I hesitated. Walk away, I told myself. But I crossed the street. Elena. She turned, wet hair, rain tracing her jaw. I was waiting, she said, for you. My pulse kicked. Why? Because I owe you the truth. I didn't expect what came next. She stepped forward and touched my face, soft, uncertain, but real. I never stopped loving you, but I had to go. And now, I don't know if I deserve to come back. The rain blurred everything but her. You came back anyway, I said. She nodded. I just don't know if I'm too late. I didn't answer. I couldn't, because my heart was saying one thing, and my fear was screaming another. And that's when she whispered, "Can we talk tomorrow?" Her voice cracked like she didn't expect a yes. I nodded, but deep down, I knew nothing about tomorrow would be simple. We met at a little cafe tucked into the old part of the city, the same one we used to sneak off to during our college days. When the world felt like it only belonged to us, she was already there, sitting by the window, fingers curled around a chipped ceramic mug, staring at the rain-soaked street. My stomach knotted as I stepped inside. This wasn't just coffee. This was years of silence sitting at the same table, waiting to be broken. "Elena," I said, my voice steadier than I felt. She looked up. "You came." "I wasn't sure I would," I admitted, sliding into the seat across from her. Her smile was small, almost apologetic. Neither was I. We stared at each other for a few seconds too long. Not strangers, but not lovers anymore. Something in between, something fragile. "I owe you everything I never said," she began, "but I don't know where to start." "Start with the truth," I said. "Why did you leave?" She looked down, fingers tightening around her mug. "Because I was scared." "Of me?" "No. Of how much I loved you. Of how much I was starting to need you." That hit me harder than it should have. I wasn't ready for that kind of honesty, not from her. Not from the woman who left without a goodbye. "I got the internship in Paris," she continued. "Remember that summer?" I nodded. "I remember you didn't take it." "I did. I just didn't tell you." My breath caught. "What?" "I left in the middle of the night. My mom helped me pack. She said if I told you, I wouldn't go. And she was right. You could have called written anything I tried for weeks. But I didn't think you'd want to hear from me. And the longer I stayed away, the more ashamed I became." I leaned back, stunned. "So you chose your career over me?" "I chose fear over love," she said, tears pooling in her eyes. "And I've regretted it every single day since." The cafe around us blurred, sound and motion fading as her words echoed in my mind. I wanted to hate her. I wanted to hold on to the anger that kept me warm when the nights were cold. But sitting across from her now, I saw her not as the girl who broke me, but the woman who had been broken too. "I never moved on," I confessed, almost in a whisper. "I tried. God, I tried. But no one ever felt like you." Her lips parted, eyes wide, breath trembling. "I dated," I continued, "even thought I was falling for someone once. But every time, it came back to you. To that empty space you left in me." Elena reached across the table, her hand finding mine, warm, real, shaking. "I don't expect forgiveness," she said. "But I hope just maybe we could start again, not where we left off, but where we are now." I stared at our hands. 1,000 moments rushed through me. Our first kiss under the library stairs. The night we danced barefoot in the rain. The fight where we screamed until we cried. And the silence that followed. "People don't just restart," I said. "They rebuild. Slowly. Painfully." "I'm willing to do that," she whispered. "Brick by brick. If you'll let me." I didn't answer. I couldn't, not yet. Instead, I asked, "Are you staying this time?" "Yes. My mom's better. I've taken a remote job. I'm not running anymore." A long silence stretched between us. "Then maybe," I said finally, "we could start with dinner." Her smile bloomed, fragile and full of hope. "I'd like that." As we stepped out of the cafe, the rain had stopped. The city glistened like it had been washed clean. We walked side by side, close but not touching, like two souls trying to remember how to fit again. But just as we reached the corner, a voice called out, "Elena." A man, tall, well-dressed, familiar. Her expression shifted. "Aiden, this is..." She hesitated. "My fiancé." The ground beneath me didn't just shift, it shattered. Fiancé. The word echoed in my head like a slow-motion car crash. I stared at him, broad-shouldered, confident, Probably the kind of man who didn't flinch when life turned sideways. His smile was polite, but guarded. He looked at me, then at Elena, then back at me. "Sorry to interrupt," he said, extending a hand. "I'm David." I shook it out of instinct. My grip was cold. "Aiden," I replied. "Old friend." Elena's jaw tensed. That word friend stung her. I meant it too. She stepped in. "David, this is the Aiden I told you about. Knew I was the ghost she never fully let go of. Told you about." "I see. Small world." So he knew. David glanced between us, the subtle tension obvious. "Very," I murmured. "I was just on my way to pick you up for the benefit dinner," he said, touching Elena's back lightly, possessively. "Didn't realize you were catching up with Aiden." Elena nodded. It was spontaneous. My phone buzzed twice. "Elena." I didn't answer. I didn't have the strength. "I should go," I said quickly, backing up. "It was good to see you again." She opened her mouth to speak, but I didn't wait. I turned, walked away. And this time, she didn't run after me. "But I couldn't let you walk away like that. Not again." No makeup, eyes puffy, rain dripping from her jacket. That she let me pour my heart out over coffee. That she looked at me like I was still the only one. That night, I sat in my apartment with a whiskey glass in one hand and a dozen questions burning behind my eyes. It wasn't just that she was engaged. It was that she hadn't told me. I thought I hated her before. I was with David when my mom got sick. He stood by me. He's kind. He's stable. I convinced myself that's what I needed. That maybe love didn't have to hurt to be real. But now it was different. You still kissed the past with your eyes and begged it to forgive you. I don't know what I'm doing, Aiden. All I know is when I saw you again, everything I buried came back to life. This wasn't heartbreak. This was betrayal layered on top of grief. The next morning, there was a knock at my door. I opened it to find her standing there. "And your wildfire. You consume me. Wrecked. Elena, you shouldn't be here." "I know," she whispered. "I won't break again for someone who can't choose me out loud." "Are you saying that because you're confused or because you still love me?" I stepped aside, against every warning in my head. She entered like she belonged. "I need to figure out what's right and what's just fear." "You're engaged," I said. "I saw it in your face when you looked at me. I felt it in the way your hand shook when you touched mine. You're lying to him and to yourself. Yes, to a man you don't love." She looked up, stunned. "You don't know that." "I understand. I don't need to." She sat down on my couch, visibly unraveling. "But you still came to find me," I said. Tears slid down her cheeks. "Then why are you still with him?" "Because he's safe." "I never asked to be safe," I said, stepping closer. "I only ever asked to be real." She looked up at me. "I thought I could live without you, but I can't. I don't want to marry him." I froze. Her silence was answer enough. Then, suddenly, she stood. "Give me a few days." I nodded, barely breathing, as she turned to leave. I grabbed her wrist. "If you choose him, I won't wait this time." She blinked, then nodded. She left, and I was alone again, hope and heartbreak sharing the same breath. 3 days. That's how long it had been since she walked out of my apartment. 3 days of no messages, no calls. No sign of whether she was rebuilding a life with me or retreating back into the safety of someone else's arms. Every hour stretched like an eternity. I kept replaying our conversation, analyzing every word, every glance, wondering if her silence meant decision or cowardice. And then came the night of the benefit gala. The same one David mentioned when he interrupted our coffee. I wasn't supposed to be there, but I went. Why? Because sometimes love doesn't ask for permission, it just demands answers. The hotel ballroom was glittering, buzzing with laughter and music. But my eyes searched for one person, and then I saw her. Across the room, in a wine-colored gown that clung to her like memory. Hair swept back. Eyes scanning the crowd until they locked on mine. She didn't smile. Neither did I. She walked toward me slowly, each step tearing through my resolve. "You came," she said quietly. "I shouldn't have," I replied. "But I needed to know." Her lips trembled. "I haven't told him yet." My heart sank. "Then why are you here with him?" "I'm not." I looked past her. No David in sight. "I came alone tonight," she said. "He's waiting for me at home. He thinks I'm still making up my mind." "Are you?" I asked. She stepped closer, eyes glistening. "I know what I feel. I just don't know how to live with the fallout. Elena, love without risk isn't love, it's compromise." She stared at me like I was the cliff, and she'd spent her whole life deciding whether to jump. Then she whispered, "Meet me at the old bridge. Midnight. If I come, you'll know. If I don't, you'll also know." My chest tightened. "Why the bridge?" "Because that's where we first said I love you. Remember? When we were kids pretending we weren't scared." I nodded. "Midnight." And she walked away. Midnight. The wind was sharp at the bridge, slicing through my jacket like it wanted to punish me for hoping again. Cars hummed faintly below. The river shimmered beneath the moonlight, carrying memories I couldn't unremember if I tried. And I waited. 5 minutes passed. Then 15. At 30, I told myself it was over. I turned to leave, and then I heard footsteps. I turned back and saw her, running, barefoot, dress hiked up, hair wild, tears streaked down her face. "Aiden," she called, breathless. I ran to her, met her halfway. She fell into my arms like she had nowhere else in the world to go. "I told him," she sobbed. "I ended it." I held her tighter. "Are you okay?" he yelled. Said I'd regret it. Said I was chasing a fantasy. I pulled back, cupped her face. "And are you?" She shook her head. "No. I'm chasing the only person who's ever felt like home." We kissed. God, we kissed like it was the last kiss the world would ever allow. And in that moment, everything shattered. Pain, years, regrets, all of it. She was mine again. But the universe has a cruel sense of timing, because just as we started to walk back down the bridge, headlights flashed. A car pulled up fast. Brakes screeched. "David." He stepped out, jaw clenched, fists tight. "I knew you'd come here." He spat, eyes locked on Elena. "I knew he was the reason." "David, please. You lied to me," he said. "You led me on while running back to your past." I stepped between them. "Back off." He laughed bitterly. "You think this ends with a romantic sunset? She left you once. She'll do it again." I tensed. "Walk away, David." But he didn't. Instead, he said the one thing that made Elena freeze. "You think he loves you? Ask him where he was the night you left for Paris." Her head snapped to me. "What is he talking about?" David smirked. "You never told her, did you?" And just like that, the ground shifted again. Elena's eyes bored into mine. "What is he talking about, Aiden?" I froze. The bridge. The rain, her dress clinging to her skin. The night she disappeared. The memory I had buried like a body finally surfaced. David took a step closer, taunting. "The night you left for Paris, your ghost here wasn't as innocent as he pretended." Elena looked at me, hurt blooming behind her gaze, fragile and dangerous. "Tell me the truth," she whispered. Right now? I swallowed. I was there. She blinked. Where? At your house. The night you left. Her lips parted. What? I came to stop you, to ask you to stay. I waited outside for hours. Then I saw you. With your mother. Putting your suitcase in the car. I paused, pain clawing its way back. I heard her tell you not to say goodbye. That I would ruin your chance. That love would keep you small. Tears welled in her eyes. You saw me, and didn't come to me? I was shattered, Elena. I watched the girl I loved walk away without looking back. I thought I wasn't enough. She took a step back, and you let me carry all that guilt. For years, I nodded slowly, because I didn't want to punish you. I thought maybe, if I hurt alone, you could fly. The silence between us was agonizing. Wind howled like a warning. David smirked. You two deserve each other. Just a big pile of broken promises and secrets. Elena turned to him, her voice trembling. Leave, David. I loved you. He snapped. I know, she whispered, but I never loved you the way I love him. His jaw clenched, but he turned, walked to his car, and vanished. The bridge was quiet again. Just us, just truth. I stepped closer. I never told you because I thought you needed to believe I let you go. She shook her head. I didn't want you to let me go. I needed you to fight for me. I didn't know how. I whispered. I was just a boy in love with a girl who chose the sky. She reached up and touched my cheek, thumb brushing the edge of my jaw. We were too young then, but we're not now. I nodded. We're different people. She smiled through her tears. But maybe our love isn't. I took her hands in mine. So what now? She laughed softly. Now, we stop letting the past write our story. Then she leaned in, her forehead against mine. You and me, she whispered. This time, we fight for it, day by day. No more running. I kissed her like the ending I waited 5 years for. And maybe love doesn't always come back the way you expect. Sometimes it walks into a gallery 5 years later. Sometimes it shows up at midnight on a bridge with a secret and a second chance. But when it does come back, if it still makes your heart race, your soul ache, and your tears fall, you don't let it go again. Not for anything, not for anyone. The end.